topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Hey, welcome to another Ask the Expert show here in Houston. I love this show. I totally love doing this show. We get some of the greatest experts on here that you could possibly imagine. And today's show is, we're going to have our dental implant. I hope, sometimes they have an emergency, things come up, and I'm hoping today is not the day. Maybe if, Juan, you can go to a commercial. I think they're calling me. Can we do that?
K. Bender Rembaum is a full-service community association law firm dedicated to the representation of community associations throughout Florida. On kbrlegal.com, you can learn more about their offices in Pompano Beach, Palm Beach Gardens, Orlando, Tampa, as well as throughout Miami-Dade by appointment. Several K. Bender Rembaum attorneys are board-certified specialists in condominium and plan development law and assist clients with all matters of community association legal issues while keeping them up to date on new developments that affect their associations. K. Bender Rembaum is also a well-known provider of free legal education for managers and board members. Contact K. Bender Rembaum today by calling 800-974-0680. That's 800-974-0680 to reach any of their locations. You can also visit them online at kbrlegal.com or write to them at info@kbrlegal.com.
And we are back with the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV with your hosts, Steve-O, Sophia, and their expert guests.
Hold on. Okay, I'm going to forward it to him right now. What is his email?
K. Bender Rembaum is a full-service community association law firm dedicated to the representation of community associations throughout Florida. On kbrlegal.com, you can learn more about their offices in Pompano Beach, Palm Beach Gardens, Orlando, Tampa, as well as throughout Miami-Dade by appointment. Several K. Bender Rembaum attorneys are board-certified specialists in condominium and plan development law and assist clients with all matters of community association legal issues while keeping them up to date on new developments that affect their associations. K. Bender Rembaum is also a well-known provider of free legal education for managers and board members. Contact K. Bender Rembaum today by calling 800-974-0680. That's 800-974-0680 to reach any of their locations. You can also visit them online at kbrlegal.com or write to them at info@kbrlegal.com.
And we are back with the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV with your hosts, Steve-O, Sophia, and their expert guests.
Wow, I am so sorry about that. Our guest today, which I think is still going on, never received the link, which we did send, but that's okay. Hey, things like that. This is what happens with a live show. We are waiting for Dr. Van Slate to come on. We're going to be talking about dental implants till about 4:25, and we're kind of waiting for him to come on. And I got to tell you, we have dental implant dentists in our other markets, and we have received feedback that it just changed a person's life. And a lot of them told us that they had dentures before, but it was so hard always taking them in, taking them out, cleaning them. It was a hassle. And they got dental implants, and they said it just changed their entire life. And this is what's so great about Dr. Van Slate. Oh, speak of the devil.
Yay. How are you, Steve?
Hi, Dr. Van Slate. I'm so sorry we had sent this to Sherry, and she just told me just now I was supposed to send it to you, but we're here.
Yes.
Looks like you're ready for another implant. You got your
I guess you could say so. I'm just glad we got in. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I am too. So I was just telling people that we have gotten so much feedback in our other markets about people who either had dentures, who are missing teeth, and how much dental implants changed their life.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, it is a life-changing procedure. There's no doubt about it. And nothing feels better, looks better than what we can do with dental implants now.
Well, especially women would say, my smile changed. But when your smile changes, your whole attitude and having confidence changes.
Yes, absolutely. No question about that.
Well, let's listen. No one can do this better than you can. Tell people about your practice.
Well, I'm a general dentist. I've been practicing for about 30 years, kind of in the Tanglewood area, in Tanglewood Professional Building. And I do all sorts of things. I do everything from fillings, root canals, dentures, partials. I do all sorts of dentistry. So my practice itself is more of a high-end cosmetic practice. And we do a lot of sleep apnea, a lot of TMJ. And of course, we restore a ton of dental implants. So that's what we do here.
Is there anything new with dental implants now? Anything new that's come out?
Well, I will tell you this, the dental implant world is constantly evolving. I mean, there's no doubt. It just, the systems are getting better. The type of implants we're using are getting better, and they're being improved upon. So the actual systems of dental implants are constantly getting better. I mean, what we're doing now isn't even close to what we were doing 20 years ago. So yes, a lot has changed.
Tell people how the implant, how well it works.
Well, I guess a good thing to do is we can just talk about what an implant is, because we've been putting dental implants in really starting in the 1980s. And by the 90s, they were used pretty routinely. So we've got a 40-year track record of a dental implant now. And what I can tell you that an implant is I can basically show you, I guess would be the easiest way, but this is what if you look at dental implants, it's a titanium screw that you screw into the bone. And what that does is it just simulates a tooth root. So that's what an implant is. And an implant is basically three parts, Steve. And so you've got the dental implant that you see here. And a lot of people may not know this, but you also have something called an abutment that screws or taps into the implant. And then you have a crown that then eventually can go on top of the implant. So it's actually three parts by the time you get an implant and a crown done. So the beauty of the implant, obviously, is that nothing looks and feels and can do what an implant does. And honestly, they can be put in painlessly with local anesthetic or with IV sedation. And my gosh, nothing's more lasts longer and looks more beautiful than a dental implant. It feels just as natural as can be.
We have been promoting you coming on this week, and I got 4 people, which we gave them your phone number, all asked us about the same thing: bone density. Can you still, if someone has lost a lot of bone density, can you still help them with implants?
Well, you can. And Steve, I will tell you, when we talk about bone density, the lower jaw and the upper jaw are two really distinct different animals. Okay, the lower jaw is like mahogany. It's usually a very dense bone, and so you can place an implant in the lower jaw, and you're ready to go in about 3 or 4 months. The upper jaw is kind of like balsa wood or styrofoam. So you put something in the upper jaw, and it can take you, you might have to let that bone heal for 5 or 6 months. But with bone grafts, we can do a lot with bone density, and the quality and the quantity of bone that you have really does make a difference on can we put an implant in with predictability and longevity. So yeah, we can work with just about any type of bone right now. So density usually doesn't have too big of a play with our grafting procedures and the implant procedures today.
I tell you something else that we got a couple questions on is about, does dental insurance cover implants?
Well, dental insurances are going to help on a portion of the dental implant cost, but usually I would just say that dental insurance itself is a funny animal. They're unpredictable. We don't really know what they're going to cover, because there's hundreds of them now, and some of them might cover a percentage or a part of it, others don't. So, I don't want to tell anybody or give them misconception that if they have insurance, it's certainly going to be covered. It's something we would have to find out from the insurance company and do a little research on to see if they'll cover it.
Gosh, you would think, Dr. Van Slyke, that they would cover that, because once you've had extractions done, you don't need anything done to that tooth anymore. But
well, Steve, we could spend a whole show talking about dental insurances and what they should do that they don't. I mean, we agonize over dental insurance.
I'm sure. Let's talk about bridges. People used to get a bridge when they were missing teeth. Sure. Have implants replaced bridges?
Well, the simple answer to that question is yes, they have. I think that with what a dental bridge is, and I can show you that real quickly, but if you're missing a tooth, okay, a dental bridge basically sits down on the two teeth beside where you're missing a tooth, okay? So it'd be more like this, okay? So the bridge would go in seat here, okay? That's what a bridge is. Now, what a bridge does is you have to go in and reduce the two teeth beside the bridge, okay? So those teeth could be perfect teeth, and you have to go in there and reduce those teeth. Another thing about a bridge that I can tell you that's not good is that you can get food caught up underneath the bridge. And since these two teeth are natural teeth, they can still decay or get periodontal disease, which means that the bridge honestly has to be replaced about every 8 to 10 years. And the beauty of a dental implant is that you don't do anything to any other teeth. So the teeth beside it stay as they are. And a dental implant can last you 30 plus years to a lifetime. So if there's any con to an implant, it might cost a little bit more at the beginning, and it takes some time to get one placed. But in the long run, the longevity, the durability, what you get from it is so superior that I think it really is, now with a single tooth especially, it's become the go-to. It's almost the standard care to go with an implant over a bridge.
How do you clean implants?
Well, what I tell anybody with an implant, you want to do the regular home care that you would do. But I think a water pick is essential for cleaning implants. You really want to use a water pick around an implant, and just like you would a natural tooth. So nothing really changes on that in that regard.
How long is the process?
Well, that's a great question, Steve, because from start to finish, a dental implant can take 4 to 6 months. Okay. If you're having a tooth taken out, you might have to add another some more time onto that. But the reason for that is that when you place an implant, we have something that's called osseointegration. And what that means is that's the time it takes for the bone to lock that implant in and make it natural. And it takes about 3 to 6 months for that to happen. And we already talked about the bone densities. It usually can take longer on an upper as opposed to a lower arch. But you have to allow that time to integrate. Matter of fact, it's so important that when we put an implant in, you can't put any force or any load on an implant while it's healing, because you can imagine if that implant is moving in the bone, then the bone won't adhere to it. So when we talk about temporary, Steve, we don't put temporaries on our back molars, typically with an implant. In the front, we might put in something that looks like this. It kind of snaps and you can see the teeth are added right there.
Yes.
But what we do is this is what we put on there. It snaps onto the other teeth so that there's no force on the implant. But that again is just to show you how important it is for that tooth to have time to osseointegrate. And you have to fully let it osseointegrate to make sure that you get the longevity.
How do you eat if you have no pressure on it?
Well, you still eat with your other teeth, right?
Okay.
So that's the idea. And we just tell people, if you're going to eat something really hard or chewy, just do it on the opposite side. Do it away from where your implants are.
I tell you what, I don't know who discovered implants, but it's one of those things that I know there's a lot of cosmetic dentistry procedures out there, but the dental implants is amazing. And, people can come in and sit down with you, I guess, to see if they're a good candidate for that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think it's important. There's a lot of options within implants. And if you want to, we can kind of take some time to go through those. But yeah, we talk to, we sit down and we talk with people and we ask them certain questions about what they're looking for, what their desires are. Do they want partials? Do they want bridges? Do they want implants? You go through all the pros and cons of each one, but it's a very important process to talk about.
Dr. Van Slate, I hear some people talk about tooth in a day. What does that mean?
Okay. That's a great question, Stephen. I know on another episode, you had asked me about tooth in a day. So I knew that you're going to ask me this question, but tooth in a day basically is a relatively new concept. And tooth in a day means that, and just to let you know, tooth in a day should not be confused with an immediate implant. Okay. An immediate implant means you get the tooth pulled and then you have the implant placed and then you wait 4 to 6 months before you put a crown on it. Okay. So that's an immediate.
How's that in a day?
Okay. But that's the difference. Okay. Tooth in a day, typically it's for people who are missing all their teeth or are fixing to have their teeth pulled. Okay. So it's somebody that needs a lot of teeth replaced. But tooth in a day, the beauty of it is that you can have your teeth pulled, you can have 4 to 6 implants placed, and then you can have a denture type prosthesis either screwed or tapped into the implants all on the same day.
Wow.
Yeah. But with that being said, it's very important to realize that there's a lot of planning and a lot of designing that can take weeks to months before you reach that day. So the work can be done in a day, but it's a very technique. It's a lot of expertise, a lot of planning, and you got to really have a great team that can do that. Now, with that being said, I will tell you this too. A lot of the places that have a lot of success with teeth in a day, they're going to have the surgeon, the dentist, and the lab at the same facility. And they do that because, it's for troubleshooting in case if any part of it goes wrong. It's nice to have that team right there to do that. And the great thing about being in Houston is we got a lot of people here, or several places you can go to that provide that. So we're very, we're lucky in that regard. But that's what's
the price. Well, yeah, that makes us. I was wondering how they could do that in one day. Because there is a lot of planning involved.
There is.
Is there a difference in price?
Well, I think the best way to answer that, Steve, is we need to talk about the options people have, okay? Because when we were talking about, what do you talk with a patient when they come in? Well, when a patient comes in, and let's say they're missing their teeth, we have to have a heart-to-heart discussion with people. And we got to let them know that there's a lot of options you have with missing teeth that can vary drastically with time and cost, okay? So what we need to talk about with anybody that comes in is that, are they okay having something removable like a denture, or do they want something that's fully permanent that's going to form and function and feel just like a natural tooth? So once we ask those kind of questions and we find out what a person's desires are, what the financial obligations might be, then we can kind of hone into what they can use. And I'll go into those things. I think this is important, but let's say a person comes to me and they're missing all their teeth. The first thing they can have is just a regular conventional denture, no implants. Okay. So with a denture, most people know what a denture is, and still a denture with no implants is about what 80% of the people out there still have. Okay.
Right.
But
is it that high?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people. I mean, implants are coming on huge, but there's a lot of people with regular dentures out there still.
And you do dentures also.
Oh, we do dentures, yeah, frequently. But with a denture, it moves. It's not real stable. Food gets caught underneath it. And I think the biggest downfall of a denture, Steve, is that the bone, because the denture rests on the tissue, the bone resorbs. So you need relines and things like that over time. Okay, so that's option one. Then we get into these are, again, these are all removable options. Okay. The next removable option is you can have 2 implants placed. Okay. And so that would be a situation like this, Steve. You can see that. That's a denture that's got 2 little implants there. Do you see that?
Yes.
And so if you look at the bone, you can see, if I put that up, you can kind of see those 2 little knobs that are sticking out. Those are called locators. The denture snaps on that. With just 2 implants, you can snap on a denture and automatically the retention is dramatically improved. So eating gets a lot easier. But the downside is, you still do have a little movement in the denture. Food can get caught up underneath it, and you can still get bone resorption. Are you following me there?
I do.
Sure.
You know what? Because we got such a late start, I'm gonna have you, hopefully, if I can talk you into it instead of just one time next month, which is tomorrow, I want to have you on twice.
Okay.
To make up, and I hope we can continue talking about implants for your next show, because I had so many more questions. People who are watching right now, we've been scrolling your phone number.
Sure.
Give everybody your phone number and your website.
Okay. It's 281-886-3164. And the website is drvanslate.com.
Well, we got a late start and we have another show coming up. I hope you can join us again next week, but whatever it is, you're going to be on with us twice next month. Next month is
all right.
Is
well, I'll tell you what, Steve, why don't we do this? You want to talk about implants next time too, then?
If we can, because I got a lot of questions.
Okay. All right. So we'll talk about implants next time also, and we'll do it. Okay.
And then we'll go back to snoring. Stop snoring.
Okay. All right,
Dr.
Steve.
Van Slate, I love doing the show with you. Thank you so much. And we'll get next month worked out.
All right, buddy. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
That was Dr. Van Slate. God, what a great dentist. He does dental implants, and he actually does all types of cosmetic dentistry. We are so lucky to have him. It is just about time for our next expert to come on. And I love these next ladies who are coming on. They should be coming on. See, this is a live show, folks, and things don't always go as planned. Things come up, and it was just a small little thing with Dr. Van Slate that he didn't get the link for the show, even though it was sent. And the person who we sent it to, I guess, anyway, I know her and she does a great job too. So we're going to be talking about Medicare. And let me tell you something, there is so much to know about dental care. And it always scares me when our guests are not on time. And I see right now, I just want to make sure that they haven't emailed me or something that they're running late. I guess it's just one of those days, folks. Just one of those days. Anyway, we're going to be talking about Medicare. And there, you know what? I have got a lot of information because I am of that age. I got to tell you, no one warned me about Medicare. I didn't you just think you're going to get something in the mail for it, tell you what you need to do, and they give you instructions. It doesn't work that way. You have got to educate yourself. I didn't, and I missed out on a whole year of Medicare because I didn't know when I could get into Medicare. So I just want to say that the show we're going to have today is going to teach you all about that. And I can't wait for the girls to come on we're, again, a little embarrassing, but we're sitting here waiting for the girls to come on. There's two gals. They're called Medicare gals, and they're both they know so much about Medicare. But because I was late with coming on, I got to tell you that I missed a whole year where I could have had my meds paid for. I could have had other areas paid for. And Medicare is not expensive at all. Anybody who tells you it is, I think I pay $135 a month. And, it's affordable. That's how it was meant to be. Some people say they don't like Medicare. Let me tell you something. Every time I drive up to pick up meds at a pharmacy, and some of them get quite expensive, and there's no charge, or there's only a $5 charge. I got to tell you, it is wonderful. I went and had both of my knees operated on. I have never gotten a bill. And, I have supplemental also, which is not expensive either. But you got to enroll early, though. And that's the whole key. And if you don't enroll, there's like a window. And if you don't enroll in time, what's going to happen is you have to miss out on the entire year. And you do not want to do that. So that's why shows like this are so important, that you learn about Medicare. And that's what we're here. This is what our show is all about. We're in also 8 other cities across the country. The Dallas market was my first market because I'm from Dallas. It's actually my second market because I live in Florida. Dallas was my second market because all my family lives in Dallas. I know Dallas really well. So we launched Ask the Experts in Dallas right away, right after Florida. We've been in Dallas with the show for 10 years. And our experts do extremely, extremely well. So if you have a business, whether it's legal, health, financial, or home improvement, this is a great show to come on to do a 25-minute interview, educational interview. And our experts get a lot of referrals from the show, which is wonderful. I'm sorry, my attention's kind of going to see if we get an email in from the girls, if there's a problem, because they were supposed to be on at 4:25 in Dallas today. And so we're just checking to see if they've emailed me back. Oh, here's the email. Oh my gosh. This is another one. I don't know what is going on with the links today, because these are links that I have sent out to people that they never got them. This is really strange. This has never happened before, but let me just send them over the link to get on the show, and we will be talking about Medicare. This is really strange why 2 people did not get the link that was sent to them. We apologize for all these delays we're having today, but we make up for it by having incredible experts. And I just hope the girls can still come on, because we're waiting for them. We'll see what happens. I guess Juan kind of be watching for them, see if they come on. I'm sure they are, because they've been looking forward to doing today's show. Okay, I've just sent it to both women now. It's really strange what's going on the internet, because I've had people tell me they've texted us, they've emailed us, and we never got them. So I don't know. And I'm going to say I'm with T-Mobile. So maybe I'm just with the wrong company, but we should not have these kind of problems getting these texts and emails out to people. There's one right now. Lynn, this is crazy. I sent you and it's not your fault probably because our last one said the same thing, but we get them out as soon as we get it. I am so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. We had sent a couple of emails right before you sent that saying we didn't get the link. So I
never got those either. That's Miss Sharon.
Why is it? It's my top. See, I like to get on early and see if my top's going to work. and we've been waiting on you, Steve.
Listen, I was filling in for you, telling people how great Medicare was. It's really strange because the show before yours never got theirs, and I found, and I'll find yours when I sent them, and I can't believe you didn't get. Anyway, I don't want to waste time with that. So yeah. I've been telling people how important Medicare is, and that you two are the best when it comes to that. Explaining that, I wish I'd known you 3 or 4 years ago. Because I was telling people how nice it is to pull up to CVS, and I've got some quite expensive meds, and they go no charge. It's a nice feeling. So tell people about your company.
Sure. Well, I'll start for us, Sharon. So Sharon and I both come from a financial services background, and we both decided that there was a shortage of agents that focused in this area on Medicare and health insurance. So we, quite a while back, met and later on found out we lived in the same neighborhood. So we decided to collaborate and be a resource for our neighbors. Now, Sharon and I are licensed in lots of states, and we have clients all over the country. So by no means do we just focus on our own neighborhood, but we are here in person. So we do seminars at our local library and around the Dallas area. So anyway, what we try to do is help people navigate Medicare, when they need to enroll, how to enroll, what their choices are when they enroll. And we also help the spouses and dependents and people that need individual or small group health insurance.
Well, today's subject is Medicaid redetermination going on right now in all states. Sharon, I want to start with you. What is the Medicaid redetermination, and when does it go into effect?
Well, it's already in effect right now. And let's just clear up, since this is a Medicare show, we will be talking about Medicaid. And Medicaid is a program in all 50 states, governed by all 50 states. And it is determined by your income and your assets, normally for people with lower income, lower assets. And when you apply and you go on Medicaid, you do get health insurance. That is basically your health insurance. You do need to qualify every year. You need to tell them, hey, this is my income, this is my assets. And if you don't meet the criteria, then they kick you off. So what has happened is during the pandemic, people went on Medicaid because they weren't working. They lost their jobs. And also President Biden loosened a lot of the rules during the couple years while the COVID was going on, the pandemic was going on. So people did not have to come in annually and redetermine is the term, or basically give updated information. Well, now that President Biden has come out and said, okay, it's over, we're going back to normal. Now you have to come in and you have to tell, depending what it's called in your state. In our state, you have to go to, what's it called? yourtexasbenefits.com. And that you have to basically update your information. If you do not do that, they are dropping you. So in Texas, the notices went out at the end of April. Tomorrow is when people start getting dropped. So you
Wow.
probably won't even know it until you go to the doctor. You go to the hospital and they're going, you do not have health insurance. It is a nightmare.
How do people know if it affects them?
Well, they'll know the easiest part is to go into your Medicaid account. It's called yourtexasbenefits.com. I think I misquoted it before. yourtexasbenefits.com. You can also call Texas Health and Human Resources. They are the people that handle Medicaid. But if you're having problems and you're listening to this, just call us, call me, and go to Care Gals and we'll help you. You can call it in, you can go on. But the best thing you can do is go in and see. It will tell you right when you log in, hey, you're being dropped. Better to find out now versus later.
Is it difficult to get back in if you've been dropped?
It isn't. They are seeing, so now different states have different time frames. And so they're now seeing that 80%, I just read this yesterday, 80% of the people getting dropped are just due to technicalities. They didn't update their information. You need updated email, you need updated address, updated phone number. But it's something everyone, if they've been on Medicaid before for a while, they're used to. They're used to going in every year and giving the new income and the new assets. So no, it is not. So it's more of a knowledge thing. But it is key. If you are dropped, and we'll talk about this, I think Lynn will talk about it. If you're dropped, you need to know what you can do.
Yes. That was actually my next question.
So yeah, I'll explain that. So what that gives you is a special enrollment period. We call those SEPs. So if you lose your Medicaid eligibility on or after January 1st, that SEP begins when you receive notice of the upcoming termination. And then your SEP is going to end 6 months after termination of your eligibility. So basically, you've got some time to get insurance, but you don't want to wait too long because you don't want to go without, right? So
Right.
Your coverage would begin on the first of the month of the enrollment, or retroactive to when your Medicaid ended. So
Lynn, let me correct you on something. So President Biden came out and extended the SEP, or at least in Texas, our SEP goes through for about a year until next July.
Oh, okay.
It's been extended. It's not something that we're used to, but it's because of this and the fumbling, they extended it. You have up until July. But until you do this, you will not have insurance. If you're dropped.
We just got somebody just texted us. They just turned in the show. They wanted, can you go over again how you get canceled from Medicaid?
It just happens automatically. Okay. So as of, everyone in Texas got this yellow envelope. They call it a yellow envelope, and it said action required on it. It was from the Texas Department of Health and Resources, I think. And that told the people to do something. So if you don't do anything, if you don't have current information with Medicaid in Texas, they will drop you because they're trying to notify you. They're trying to call you, email. You need to respond to anything that they do. But if you go into your account, easiest way is to go into your account online, and it'll tell you right there if you're getting dropped or have been dropped.
Well, and that's the same for the marketplace as well. So a lot of people enroll in the marketplace and they fill out the application and they state what their expected income is going to be and dependents and household information and so forth. And then they get letters and they get emails from the marketplace asking for proof of certain things. It might be a loss of employer coverage. It could be Social Security number. I mean, there's a whole a whole list of things that they might ask for proof for. So if you ignore that and you don't provide proof, and they always give you a fair amount of time, usually it's 90 days, then you can lose your marketplace insurance as well. So they kind of make it easy for you to enroll, but then it's important that you pay attention to those follow-up notices that you receive, from Medicaid or for the marketplace or for any, even for Medicare or Social Security. So, don't ignore those and open those envelopes when you get them, because a lot of people just think everything is junk mail and they don't open the envelope. So,
well, Lynn, in this case, it looks like junk mail. Okay.
That's what I was going to ask.
It's a bright yellow envelope. I have a copy of it. If anyone wants to email, I can send them what it looks like. But it's bright yellow, important.
Publishers Clearinghouse.
Yeah. Open now. You're going to win $1 million in red. It's got red print. So I can easily see. I know why they did it, so people would pay attention to it. But it looks like junk mail. And I will tell you, a lot of people have probably thrown it away.
Yeah.
Let's talk about alternatives if they are kicked off. Sharon, what if they're on Medicare?
So it's a different situation if you're on Medicare versus you're under 65 or over 65. So if you're on Medicaid and you get kicked off, you will not lose Medicare. You still have Medicare. But the issue is when Lynn and I work with someone, and if we know they're on Medicaid, there are certain advantage plans out there that are geared just for people on Medicaid. And they have a lot of low cost benefits, zero cost benefits, which is the proper plan for them while they're on Medicaid. But if they get kicked off, that it may not be the right plan for them. They don't get all those benefits. So if you're on Medicare and Medicaid and you were on, the buzzword is a D-SNP plan, you need to talk to us, because that also creates an SEP or an election period for you to move to another advantage plan that may be better for you now than it was when you were on Medicaid.
Now, what if you're under 65, Lynn?
So if you're under 65, you'll have that window to enroll in a marketplace plan and just re-enroll. So you just need to talk to an agent, talk to us, and see what your options are. You can apply for the tax credit subsidies, which are still available to people that don't qualify for Medicaid. And then Medicaid, depends on the state you're on for under 65. So in Texas, there's not an expansion of Medicaid for under 65. So, some people still get it through other means, such as, children, CHIP programs, and so forth. So,
one other thing, let me add to that real quick, Steve. We're seeing that a lot of people went on Medicaid when they lost their jobs during the pandemic.
Okay.
But they're back working again. Their jobs are offering them health insurance again. So, but what's happening is they're thinking, well, why should I pay for health insurance through my employer when I can get this cheap plan through Medicaid? Well, if they do get kicked off of Medicaid, and most likely they do, if they're working, they'll make more money, or have assets than they should. They can hop on their employer plan too. That is another option that this allows them to do.
Sure. If they're working, can they now jump on the employer plan?
Yes, if they get. The key is they have to have been, the doors open up if you're dropped by Medicaid. Okay. That's what opened all the doors. If you're on Medicaid and you just, and they still say you're on it, you can't, I don't think, Lynn, can you? You can't just jump to a group employer plan. You only can do it during their open enrollment. but the doors open up when you get dropped. That's when you can go on the ACA marketplace plans, because you can only hop on those plans once a year unless you have a special, what we call SEP, or a special election period. So the key is that you've got dropped. It's very
Right.
confusing to people. You need to call Lynn or myself, and we will tell you what your options are.
By the way, I don't want to forget this, especially because we're talking about Medicaid, but we have got to do a show on all these companies we're being inundated about that have these deals that are like, oh, we'll give you $4,000 for your groceries, and we'll have a van pick you up, take you to the doctor, dental, eyeglasses. I mean, I'm inundated, so I hope we can do a show on that down the road, because people really don't know what to do.
Yeah, those are D-SNP plans, and those are dual special needs plans, and that's exactly what we're talking about. So those are Medicaid plans, and for beneficiaries that have Medicare plus Medicaid, they can join a D-SNP. I'll just use that shorter plan when they're, when they actually have additional enrollment periods than just regular Medicare Advantage plans. So they have more opportunities to enroll during the year if you get Medicaid or if you're on Medicaid plus your Medicare. And you're right, Steve. So those plans, they offer things that regular Advantage plans don't have. So the food and there's some that pay utilities. There's all sorts of things that are available to people with Medicare plus Medicaid. But when you see those ads on TV, they can be a little misleading because they make you think that anybody can get that, and that's not the case.
Right. Well, that's what we've been getting. Sharon, can you, for people who joined us late, can you summarize what someone on Medicaid now should be doing?
So if you're on Medicaid now, you need to, if you have access to a computer on your phone, you need to go to the yourtexasbenefits.com and set up your account. If you've already set up your account, you need to just log in and make sure all your information is correct. If you have an email, if you have a phone, if you have an address, that's the big thing, is updating the information. Plus now, if you go into your account, they will tell you if you have been dropped. Now, you can also call, you can fax, you can go to a local office. We can help guide you where to go if you want to find this out. But the key is, don't ignore this. And if you have the big thing, because maybe listeners on this call say, well, it doesn't apply to me, but it may apply to your mom or your dad or your sister or your brother. A lot of people are on Medicaid, the neighbor next door, and you don't even know it. So we're just trying to get the word out, and we can at least help guide you.
Well, I think there's a lot of people out there who need guidance out there. And I tell you, there's no one better than both of you all when it comes to not just Medicaid or Medicare, but you handle all different types of insurance.
We do a lot.
Well, and it's very important. Now, again, they can contact you. You're Medicare gals. Let's tell people how they can reach you.
Sure. My name's Lynn Tim, and you can reach me directly at 214-762-4247, or you can send us a message at yourmedicaregals.com, and we will respond, and we can set up a time to chat with you.
Someone just asked me, they missed the first half of the show. You can go to YouTube and just put in Ask the Experts Dallas, and today's show will be on there. You can also view it again. You know what? I think it's we love having you on the show, and we're going to probably have you on twice next month if you all can fit it in your. I feel bad that you didn't get the link, but I see if we can get you on twice next month. We'll work on that, but for sure you'll be back with us again next month on the Ask the Expert show. Thank you, ladies, so much. You did wonderful.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
You too.
We will. I love those women. They are so knowledgeable when it comes to all types of insurance, but especially for you that does Medicare or Medicaid. We'll be back with you again next week with more Ask the Experts. Please stay safe this week. We'll see you again.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.